I'm going to show us how to get a solid low end when it comes to mixing our songs, for um, the usual gospel contemporary music. Now, when we're talking about the low end, we're talking about uh, the the elements that we get to see function on the low end, and mostly we're talking about the kick and the bass. So we want to build a solid tightness that we have clean, solid, you know, low end relationship whereby we don't have things fighting each other, and you want that punch to solidly coming through in your mix. And trust me, it doesn't have to do with you throwing so much plugins and all that. It's just simple stuff that possibly we may not be looking at when it comes to mixing. All right. So now here is this session. I have the drums and the bass playing. Okay, so very beautiful um session. Like I like the texture of what is going on. I've not added any samples, nothing. I've only worked on the kick in and the kick out. So let's see what we need to do to have, solid low end going on. I'm gonna first of all come to the kick in. Of course, when you have, I'm not going to talk much about the EQ setup. Maybe in another video, I'm going to discuss about the EQ. But I have the Pulsar 8200, and I've done my EQing with that, and that's for the kick in, and also for the kick out. I also have the Pulsar 8200, you know, with my kick out as well. Now, when you are done with your EQs, the first thing you need to do is to ensure that for the kick in and the kick out, you want to ensure that the volume of the kick out is, say, about 6 dBs lower than the volume of the kick in. Okay, it has 4 to 6 dB lower. Okay, so what it means is wherever you're setting the volume of your kick in, your kick out should be about 4 to 6 dB lower. So in my own case, I have my kick in stay at unity gain 0, but my kick out is there about -6. Now, the next thing is to come to check the polarity, okay, of the kick in and the kick out relationship. What you need to do is to go to your door, whatever door you're using, and go to the polarity of the kick out, which is this symbol here, okay, and flip it, okay, flip it on, flip it up. That's like changing 90 to 180 degrees and all that. Check whichever one has a larger thump or more punch, that's the one you are going to take. So you have to listen to it. There are two ways to check it. Either you listen to it to hear which one has more punch, or you watch your meter here. Sometimes it can have the beep, you know, punch out more than what it was set after your proper gain staging. Okay. So, but I think the best way to actually make that decision is to actually pay attention to it when you flip. All right. So, we're going to listen to it. So that's, I've not flipped it. Let me flip the polarity on. So I think with the polarity flipped on, I have more punch, more weight, to the kick, as against to when the polarity is turned off. I think I have it better. Yeah, so I would go for the polarity turned on. Okay. I feel there's more depth, or rather more weight. Then the next thing is to go to my bass, or is to go to my bass track. And when I go to my bass track, I'm gonna also go to the polarity setting of my bass and do the same thing as well. All right, do the same thing as well. I'm gonna flip the polarity of the bass and also check. Now, what I'm actually looking for here, because I'm having this in relationship with my kick, is to see which of them, when I flip the polarity, has the bass, centered, more centered in the middle. Usually, if the polarity is against, the kick, it's going to make the bass feel more louder, and as though that is pushed to the sides, and it's also going to make the bass drown the kick. Okay, so let's listen to the bass and the kick. So I have the polarity flipped off here. Let me flip it on. Mm. Okay, so I think the bass is more centered when I have the polarity turned on. Now, this may not be the case in every recording. Every recording is unique. There are some cases whereby the polarity may be turned on for the bass, it's turned off the other way, vice versa and all that. You just have to listen and pay attention. Let's look at it again. Yeah, so I think um, with the polarity turned on, I have um, the kick and the bass having that very solid um, relationship going on. So that's one way you can have a solid, um, tight, low end for your mix. Okay, this is outside you just throwing plugins. Check the polarity phases for your kick in and for your kick out in relationship with your kick in. Form that tight kick relationship. Then check it with your bass. Flip the bass and see that the bass is not drowning the kick, because what you're looking at is to have the kick punch out and the bass almost like having it surrounded. Okay, having it surrounded across the other stuff. So having the whole drums turned on with the bass. So you can feel that the kick is really punching out and the bass is, just giving that bed, which is what's supposed to be, not the bass drowning the kick. Okay, so I hope this helps. Try this in your next mixing session. All right.